Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for your patience. Power's gone out twice where I'm at today, and it's been raining a lot. It's also due to start raining again relatively soon. So if the power goes out and the power comes back on, I will try and reconnect to the stream. Hopefully the lighting is okay. I don't want to overload the white balance too much, but I also don't want you to not be able to see what I'm doing. Alrighty. Let's see. Korean, welcome. Gambat, I hope that's the right way to pronounce it. The Kikko looks amazing. I thought 32 Tom on the Marudai was involved. Actually, my understanding is the Kikko has been mostly a Taka-Dai pattern for a long time, and it's only, I don't know if Claudia Wolney, who has published a book on the 32 Tama Kikko on the Marudai, was the one who created it, or if she just kind of popularized it. But I wouldn't be surprised if she created it. So some things open here that does not need to be, and I don't want it to take away resources. There we go. So, and Gwen, hello, Gwen. Yep, I had to reboot the computer when I got here, or turn it on actually. So I was running just a little bit late. Gwen's thumbs up. Kumihimo Steve, hey, it's been a while. Good to see you on. Good evening, afternoon, morning, or whatever it is where you are. In my case, it is evening. It's about 7:40 right now, which means I was about 8 minutes late getting started, for those that were keeping bets on that. And Kumihimo says, hi, Gwen. Hope all is well. Gwen saying, hello, Kumihimo Steve. Doing well over here today. No stove oven. Maintenance says there's an electrical problem, so they turned the breaker off. I'm not turning it back on. How goes it with you? I am sorry to hear that you're having electrical problems with the oven. That sucks. I've had to actually rewire the element for our oven a couple of times because the connection wire keeps burning. It's old. We want to replace it with a gas one. It's just a question of being able to find one that's can fit in what we got and is good enough quality that Mrs. Torn will accept it, because she's a cook and she knows what she's doing. Speaking of which, she fed us our camp surf and turf tonight. We had steak, we had snow crab, red Atlantic crab, calamari, sweet curried shrimp, and Brussels sprouts sauteed with garlic and baked potatoes, all while recovering from our pop-up over our kitchen being broken and getting it cleared out and getting it all done before the next wave of storms rolled in. Right after we got the food on our plates, we moved everything into our tent, and apparently a branch fell right outside our front door. We didn't even hear it. We opened it up to grab something from the kitchen when the rain let up for a minute, and then when we were done eating, it was already gone. So we figured our campmate in the next tent over cleared it out, but it was kind of impressively large. And hey, Nancy, welcome. All right, I did not get anywhere near enough braiding done on this today, so I'm going to try and do like maybe 2.5 hours of braiding tonight. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I only have until Thursday to get this braid done. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like one time wrapped around the take-up reel. So I'm somewhere between like 18 and 24 inches done, which is 2/5 of the way through. So it's not impossible for me to get there. I just got to make sure to spend the time to do so. And what better way to spend some of the time than with you lovely folks? And yeah, I think I'm still having issues with getting the ADD, anti-sleep, and other meds balanced out, because I wasn't feeling right today, and I think that was part of it. It's also kind of getting close to the end of the event for us. I know people who don't work at the event, it's like just barely past the halfway point, but for us, it's somewhere between 2/3 and 3/4. Our department's only going to be open till Thursday, and then we get to close down on Friday and pack up our stuff for home on Saturday. It's supposed to rain in the morning, but worst case scenario, if we got some wet canvas, when we get home, we can go ahead and spread it out on the lawn and let it dry so it doesn't get moldy. We re-waterproofed it this year with CanVac, which is great for keeping the rain out. It's completely dry in our tent while the rain was pouring down. And it's supposed to be raining from like about 10 until 4 a.m., 5 a.m. tonight. So staying dry is going to be a good thing. We have a nice elevated bed. It's a couple feet off the floor. So even if it does flood, we shouldn't be doing too bad. But we're on the edge of, or near the top of the hillside. So even if it does get a lot of rain, we're not expecting to wake up in puddles, at least not large ones. Some of the areas here with the rains have gotten small lakes forming. Did catch Angela Burkhart on channel I hadn't seen before, but Valhalla was a mod there, so they can't be too obscure because he really does seem to be a mod just about everywhere. As you can tell, I seem to be a little more comfortable with the pattern now. Hopefully I won't be making too many mistakes. I should probably count more because that is apparently what some people like, or more than a few people like on this channel. Whoops, that was the wrong one. Yep, I got distracted thinking about being distracted. No worries. I cut it right away. Under 3, over 4, leave the last one, pass through to the other side. And 1, 2, under the third, over 4, to 3. Yep. And 1, 2, 3, under 3, over 4. Last one, pass on through to the other side. And 1 and 2 under the third, over 4, under 3. Top one through, pass on to the other side. And 1 and 2, 3 under 3, over 4, through the last one. Probably should ease up on pass on through. I don't want to accidentally trigger copyright if I start humming that along. 1, 2 under the third, over 4, under 3. Yep. But I think I can do better than 3 minutes an hour at this point, so I'm hoping to do that. 1, 2, 3, under 3, 4. And 1 and 2 under the third, over 4, under 3. And we have reached Coma Slide time. But yeah, food was really good. I am entirely stuffed. I've been, since the wood's been relatively stiff from the humidity, I've been using the take-up reel stop pin to kind of pivot. Let me catch up with chat real quick here. Gwen saying, I see, hello. Hey, Melee Cormier, nice to see you on. Good evening, y'all. Jennifer Rivenberg, I believe you've been on before. Welcome, welcome. Gwen says, hey to Melee Cormier and Jennifer Rivenberg. And Melee says, hey, Gwen, how are you? Looks like we're doing pretty good. We got 13 people here on between Twitter and Rumble, or Twitter and YouTube. And we've got, let's see, 2 on Twitter, 9 on YouTube. We lost a couple there. And Gwen says, all things considered, not bad. How are you doing? Haven't logged into Rumble because the computer I'm streaming from is not all that great. But the camera seems to work pretty well, though it was kind of flaking out just a little bit before I started. But I think it was the USB port it was plugged into. As I mentioned, when I get back home, I'm not going to mention it while I'm out here, but I am planning on upgrading or replacing the garage streaming computer, which is actually this one here, with a better machine. I have one out there I was using for folding. I just need to change the operating system. And see how well that works. But it should have enough horsepower, and I got enough high-end video cards from folding that I should be able to stream pretty good. Haven't been folding as much because the electricity prices are kind of high as of late. Under, over, under the third, over 4, under 3. Yep. Yeah. Over, under 3, 4. The last one. Under, over, under the third, over 4, 3. There we go. And under, over, under 3, under 3, and over 4 on top. Almost did the wrong move there, which is under, over, under the third, over 4, under 3, which is the one I was trying to move. This is the one that's supposed to be done then. And under, over, under 3, 4. Pass that on through. Over, under the third, 4, 3. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, under 3, over 4. And just keep on at it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 4, under 3. Pass that over. And as you can see, with simpler ones like this, where I'm not having to let the comma drop as low because I'm flopping between the rails, it is much easier to smoothly pass these through the open shed. Some of these need a bit more unroll. I don't do as much. 2, 3, 4, 3. And it is time for another comma slide. Sliding down the road. I'll grab it from my loud tune. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. And as I was discussing with some campmates the other day, one of the songs my dad used to sing when I was a kid, I don't want a pickle, I just want to ride my motorcycle. That's all I remember of that one. Thank goodness. You won't be subjected to any more. 1, 2, under 3, over 4, 3. Yeah, I can hear the rain starting up again, so if power does go out, I do apologize. I do not have a battery backup with me. I am running off my cell phone data, so at least when I do come back up, I should have kept the data connection going. So, not that StreamYard relies on that. Yep. Catch up the chat real quick here. And Gwen says, hey, please hit that like button. I do appreciate when you do that. That makes YouTube at least get an idea that I'm doing something people like. And Melee says, doing good. Gwen says, yay. And Gwen says, I wanted to bake bread today. I'm thinking I may have to bake in the air fryer. Well, I think that is doable. Mrs. Torin, day before yesterday, made Yemeni bread. I don't think she found the, I don't think we've been able to find the recipe for it online. She got it out of a book. Cooking from like different cultures, and one of them was Yemen. And the bread is a fairly simple recipe. I think it's water, flour, yeast, and butter. But it cooks in about an hour and a half instead of 3 hours on the grill. So worked out pretty well. A little bit of caffeine here. Let's keep my throat lubricated so I can keep talking. And Melee says, look, bread. Yeah. About the time I got married to Mrs. Torrin, we got a bread maker, which got used occasionally, but not very often. And Mrs. Torrin has decided she prefers just making bread on her own, however she feels like, whatever recipe she uses. And she's been enjoying it quite a bit. And fortunately for our waistlines, neither of us actually eat all that much of it. She makes it for other people, so it gives her a chance to bake like she likes to do, and not worry about eating too much of it or the food going to waste. And I think shortly after we get back, she's going to be baking a wedding cake for some people and decorating it. One, two, three. 3 over 4. I believe we are approaching our first complete revolution around the base, or around the take-up reel. So we'll have to see where we wind up at the end. Hopefully more than a couple more loops around the reel. And 1, 2, 3 over 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3 over 4 under 3. I should say that it's under the third over 4 under 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 over 4. Still trying to figure what I should do on my birthday stream. Not sure how often people will be able to join, how long they'll be able to stay. I'm going to start probably about 6 o'clock Eastern, just to give people a chance to drop in before their usual Friday night streams. Yeah, it'll be on a Friday. Let's see how it goes. I don't want to actually braid, given that I'm still not where I want to be, being able to have conversations while I'm braiding. It's much easier when I'm doing a braid like this, but by that point, I should be well into Kurt's braid. Speaking of which, I still need to do more design work on that. I actually haven't started yet, so any would be more. I've just got some ideas in my head. I do have access to the software wherever I have a web browser, so I don't have that excuse of, no, didn't bring the software. That doesn't fly. You're just procrastinating. But I also don't want to do anything that's noisy. I was thinking of maybe doing like the off-brand, not really Lego micro-locking blocks, but I also don't want to either Valhalla or Wendy or Dave to feel like I'm horning in on their action there, because they are the official Lego Law Life and Libations people, and that's their. I just happened to I started doing it. It's like, hey, this is fun, and I appreciate the fact they haven't copyright struck me for doing my own stuff, which I realize would be very hard to do, but I also try and encourage people to go watch their streams whenever they have interviews. I like them, like to watch them. Yep. I think that's real. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned it, but early on when I started streaming, I was having an issue with the Tory Gate on my Takadai falling over. I redid it with lag bolts that were glued into place, and I've noticed I'm starting to get a little bit of cracking around the upright here. I don't know if that was just from like wood shifting or if it's starting to fail, but I'm thinking it might be a good idea if I start making torii gates as a consumable item on a Takadai, where if they have to get replaced every few years, they can. They're not that hard to make. I've previously have used like 5/16 threaded inserts compared to the 1/4-20 threaded inserts I use for most of my other Takadai assembly points, because they need the extra strength. I haven't had anybody who's gotten one of them complain, but again, I'm pretty sure I can make those as a consumable replacement that's not too expensive. Also might be fun being able to change to different woods, have that be as an accent people can use to customize their Takadais a bit more. And since it's not nearly as much wood as the rest of it, something relatively easy to have fun with, but we'll have to think about it. There's a lot of stuff I can do. It's a question of whether or not I should do it and if people will consider it something worth buying. 2 under the third, over 4 under 3. But I seem to be moving along at a pretty good clip here. I should have been slacking off all day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Do that occasionally. I miss seeing where to put the sword, and I don't get all of them pushed down except for the last one. Fortunately, it's easy to catch and not a hard fix. 1, 2 under third, over 4 under. Yep. But yeah, despite not feeling all that great earlier today, I'm in a pretty good mood now, and I think maybe I need to make sure I can stream more often. 1, 2 under third, over 4 under 3. I do have to say that even though sometimes it's a little bit of work to start streaming, streaming with you lovely folks is not a chore. I enjoy it quite a bit. Oh, for those that didn't catch it, last night's Monday Legal Fun Day with Ian Runkle was very good. He went over another one of those interesting sovereign citizen traveler on the land. I'm not anti-Semitic because I just tell the truth type racists, those type of people. Nope, I was trying to do the second side there. That wasn't looking right. There we go. 1 and 2 and 3, 3, 4. Ian was talking about how a lot of them seem to think Black's Law Dictionary is the actual real law of everything, which is not the case. And while it is a somewhat useful tool at times, it's almost always worth it to go to the library and look at it if you need to, as opposed to buying a copy of it when you're in law school, according to Ian. And so I made a suggestion that maybe he could auction it for Second Life, except for apparently he may have actually already gotten rid of it. So, well, I thought it was a neat idea. But I don't think he's going to have any problem accepting this for donation auction. And Pokemon Steve, as having been the previous winner of a braid auction, can say whether or not he's still happy with it or not. I believe he is. Don't mean to put you on the spot like that, Steve. If you don't want to answer it, don't worry about it. And it went to a good cause. It makes me very happy. I think I'm moving just a little bit more than I need to do a little bit on the tank up reel by 1 notch every comma slide. So it's probably going to be like do it every 3 comma slides and then skip the 4th one to keep it even. All right, let me catch up real quick here. Gwen says my grandmother's recipe, talking about bread. Hey, Erica Olson, nice to see you on. Hello, Torrin and Gwen. And Erica says, I want to bake too. I got a KitchenAid mixer recently, but it's too dang hot to cook anything. AC is crap over 90 degrees. I am sorry to hear that it's so warm there. Hasn't been too hot here, which has been kind of nice. Since you got a KitchenAid, Mrs. Torrin really likes the pasta roller I got her for her KitchenAid. And Gwen says, hello to Erica. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Yanni here. And Erica says, braid is looking good, Torrin. Thank you very much, Erica. I'm rather pleased with it. Let's see. One more caffeine here. There we go. And 1, 2, whoops. That one just, that's where that one popped off. I thought one go off of the pen. There we go. Let's try this again, a little further away from the coma blocks. 1, 2, and 3, 3, over 4. Yep. And 1, 2, under 3rd, 4, under 3. Yep. And 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. One, 2, under 3, 4, under 3. Definitely unrolling these Tama a lot. 1 and 2 and 3 under 3, 4, which is a good sign that I'm going quickly. And 1, 2 under 3rd, 4 under 3. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I've actually cleaned off some of the oils that did and dirt that built up on the sword stop on that side. This side needs a little bit more. And 1, 2, 3, under 3, 4. Should have done that a while ago. Not that it takes a lot of work to do. Just need to do it regularly. 1, 2, under 3rd, over 4, under 3. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, under 3, 4. And 1, 2, under the 3rd, 4, 3. And 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. And for those that were wondering, my upcoming birthday event at the end of this month, I will turn 56, which gives me about 9 more years to get successful at this YouTubing, braiding equipment thing. And 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. And oops, I had a few threads one of the things about having like 22 threads on here is that they do tend to like spread apart relatively easily when it doesn't have the full tension on it. 1, 2, and a third over 4, and 3. Yeah. All the best. Yeah, I also listened to, I think it was from last night on Replay Crew this morning, Tug and Megan Fox going over some of the 911 calls from Laura Owens and how they've actually mentioned her in documents that they're investigating. And Megan Fox is pointing out that all her voluminous 911 calls have been taking away police resources from other people who need it. As a matter of fact, in one of the calls, the operator had to say, I have to go answer 911 in the middle of the conversation. So, oops, that one was not right. So, before I do that one, I need to 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Now, and 1 and 2 and the third, 4 and 3. Now this top one here. And 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. Symmetrical colors are showing. I didn't mess anything up long term. 1, 2, and the third, 4, 3. And it's time for another Kuma slide, but I'm not going to do the take-up reel because I was getting a little close to the top of the Torii gate. And slide lower right, slide upper right, slide lower left, keep the board palm on the ground with an awkward angle. Elbow press against the thigh. There we go. Catch up with chat. And Erica says it's supposed to be 100 degrees tomorrow on Thursday. Oh, I am so sorry. And Erica, I'm dreading it. I can understand that. And let's see. Probrion, I hope that's right. Hey there, finally catching for live once. Thank you very much. It's good to have you on. Oops, sorry, there we go. Being in Europe doesn't help. Yep, I can understand that. You should be a minimum of 4 hours ahead, so it's about midnight your time. Thank you for dropping in so late. I appreciate that. And Proragon, I recently got into Kumihimo and have stumbled upon your channel. Thank you very much. If there's anything Kumihimo or other stuff related that I can answer, I will do my absolute best to do so. So feel free to ask questions. As the channel regulars will tell you, we're all about answering questions here. I also try and do earlier weekend streams so that people in other time zones are able to watch without having to deal with major scheduling issues. And I'm doing the wrong bit there, but it's easy enough to fix. There we go. Now it's right. And 1, 2, 3, under 3, over 4. This particular pattern I'm doing is Kikko Gumi, which is basically a tortoiseshell pattern. It's a 3-3 twill. I've got 4 colors here, 52 strands, or tama being the weights at the end of the strands. A lot of Kumihimo braids get referred to by the number of tama you use in them. It's the type of braid. And the tortoiseshell pattern is supposed to be a symbol of long life in Japan. It tends to get used with a lot of sword furniture type tie downs and wrappings. So It's a very popular pattern. I like doing it. It's a fairly simple pattern to do on the Takadai. It's more complex to do it on the Marudai. Also on the Marudai, you do it as a 32 tama Takadai here. The stand is 50-52. Let's see what else is there. As I said, it's kind of a 3-3-12 pattern. So you get the tortoiseshell look of it through the layout of colors at your starting point. I think I've got a chart I can show you. Clarie Cassan, who does the pickup braid design software I use, also has one for the Kikko for like color layout. You can pick the colors for your different tama to see what it'll look like. And that's what I use to come up with this particular color layout for color. I mean, theoretically, you could like do it in a spreadsheet or something like that, but it's nice the way she does it. I don't know if she's released that URL to the public. I would have to touch base with her because I could probably add it in for those that are interested, but I don't want to encroach on her intellectual property without her authorization. All right, there we go. Just because she gave it to me for testing or something like that doesn't necessarily mean it's open use. So this is, yep, this is the one I did for this, the setup. I can't really tell for certain here, but I'm only like one off. So it was like, this was yellow, or sorry, yellow here, white, 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 yellow, white, and 4 black, and then there would be like another white, which was so. And this one, but yeah, this is the top, and this is the underside. All right, let me catch up with chat real quick here. 2 a.m. Okay, you're further east than like England and France area, so not sure how far further east than that you are. I'd have to look, but it's nice that you're willing to give up your sleep to be here. Eric says hello, Progrion, welcome, and Progrion says hi there. And Betsy Weingartner, welcome. Hello, everyone. Good to see you on. Same time zone as France, CET. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, that's right. You guys are different on daylight savings time. I don't remember which way it is, but yeah, it changes a bit. All right. And Gwen says, hey, Betsy Weingartner, good to see you. All righty. 2 and 3, under 3, 4. Yep. And 1, 2, under 3rd, over 4, under 3. Sometimes it's nice when they're not like lifted, and you can just like lift them up and do a nice clean pass through the shed. It's just, I won't say it's necessarily magical, but it is nice. Just kind of keeps your flow going. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and we are now ready for another coma slide. And right here, the stop that I put on here to keep it from sliding all the way through. It was sliding around on its own. Hello.
Oh, can I have an ice cream?
Yes, you can.
Peanut butter.
Yep. Give me just a second. All right. Excuse me, folks. Gotta reach around behind me. There you go.
Thank you.
And for those that have not met her before, that was Mrs. 403, my lovely and graceful wife. She said it out, but I will let her know you said hello, Gwen. All right, let me catch real quick here. Progrion, I have encountered the Marudai version for the Kikko braid, the 32 Tama one. However, the pattern repeats quicker than on the Takadai version. Yeah, I've seen it done, and I did buy the book for Mrs. Torin, but I haven't had a chance to actually try it out myself. There's fewer rows in a full cycle. Yep. And did mention that one. And Kelly J. Hi, Kelly J. Welcome, welcome. I think I have seen you on before. If I have not, I apologize for that. Let's see. Actually, let me go ahead and I'm going to open up Studio real quick so that see if there's anybody that I can do a redirect at the end of the screen into the stream when I get a chance here. All right, let's see. Ooh, somebody's joined since the start of the stream. That's nice to know. And thanks to everybody who has subscribed, click the notification button, and chatted or commented. That's very kind of you. All right, let me see. Customization. Let's see who's streaming tonight. Let's see. Add a redirect. Megan Fox, Tuesdays with Tug. I and Danny on. Okay, I won't decide just yet. When I get closer to the end, I'll take a look. Excuse me, sorry about the cough. I think I did that one here already. Hello, Mrs. Torin. So Erica and Gwen both said hello. Betsy Weingartner says to Gwen, hi, we just got home from camp trying to get caught up on everything we missed while away. Well, it's good to have you on here. And Gwen says hi to Kelly J. Erica says hello, Betsy Weingartner, Kelly J. And again to Kelly J. Let's see, smile there. All right. And yeah, we're doing pretty good. We've got 15 people watching between Twitter and YouTube. All right. And let's keep this moving along. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Do that occasionally. Pull one up off the pen. There we go. That's the right spot. If I'm too close to the rows of the coma pins, it's easy to accidentally lift one of the threads off the pin. Usually it's not a major problem. It's fairly easy to figure out where they were and put them back. You just have to be aware of when you've done it. It also helps that there's like a tactile feel to it when it happens. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be feeling pressure from that angle at that spot. 2, 3, under 3, 4. But I will say that this is definitely better done with pins further apart than 9-pin coma. 1, 2, third, over 4, under 3. Oh, for those that didn't see it before, let me. This is the same, roughly the same pattern, just a very slight difference in color layout that I just did last week. Let's see. All right. This was done with 12 threads per Tama weight. The one I'm doing right now is 22 threads per Tama weight. I was planning to do 24 threads, but unfortunately, I missed bringing 2 of the cones I needed to do to be able to do that. I had enough for 2 of the colors, but not the other 2. So I figured I'd even them all out 22, running from 11 doubled up. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. I could have done, the 2 that didn't have the extra ones at 22, and the other ones that did at 24, but I figured I would probably wind up with a little bit of a size difference between the colors. I didn't want it to look lumpy. I want it to look nice and clean. This is a braid for an auction, after all. It should be the best quality I can make it. 1, 2, 3. 3 over 4. One here. Yep. And 1, 2 under 3, 4 under 3. Tomorrow I will probably try and do a braiding stream starting at about maybe 2:30 in the afternoon, Eastern Daylight Time, so I can make sure that I quote unquote force myself to actually braid. And they have an event in the evening here Wednesday night called Midnight Madness. The merchants stay open until midnight. And I was hoping to wander Merchants Row with Mrs. Torrin together so we can shop for anything we might want to bring home, because she spends most of her days in the local town nearby shopping for vet staff, and I sit here in this trailer that I'm in right now so that when the staff need to place an order, there's somebody here who can take it. Because this job here is about making it convenient for the rest of them and not for convenience for me. Happens to work out pretty well because it leaves me access to AC and a computer that I can use, which tends to satisfy my anti-boredom stuff. And if it gets too warm, I'm not miserable, since my heat tolerance seems to be continuing to reduce over time. And the new ADD medicines I've taken also make that even harder. But I'm hoping if I can lose some weight, get in better shape, recover the strength I lost after the trip and fall, that things will be improving there. But I do have AC in my shop, so I have AC to retreat to at home, which is nice. Unfortunately, it only looks like it maybe is like a week or 2 over the summer where it's an issue at all. Also, the mini split I got also works as a heater, so it makes it easier for me to work in there in winter, which is good because I need to be making Taka-Dais and working stands and things like that. One, 2 under the 3rd, over 4, under 3. One, 2, 3 under 3, 4. I do have to say that braiding with silk this thick of thread bundles really feels nice on the hands. It's just a pleasant fiber to work with all around. Fortunately, my hands are not too rough to be able to do this, because sometimes, especially Mrs. Torrin knows, if you have too rough of calipers on your hands, they just keep snagging on the fibers. And I suppose I could wear nitrile gloves if I needed to, but that takes some of the enjoyment away from it. And this is not a paid advertisement, but I do like using this stuff to moisturize my hands. Let's see, there we go. It works pretty good. It's a little spendy, but not too bad. All right, let me catch up with chat, answer any questions there are. All right, there we go. Progrion, I recently DIY'd my own Marudai. The foam disc started to limit me. I still have to test it out. I haven't had the time yet. I will have to say that I believe you will find that the Marudai will make your braiding a lot nicer, a lot faster, a lot more fun than the disc. The disc is okay, and I did learn on the disc myself, but once I got a Marudai, my braiding skills really started to take off. I will say that when you have the disc and you're braiding, the single best piece of advice I got that improved my braiding skill was when you're doing like a crossover, is if you can do it two hands, that's useful, but you want to do like an over the top rather than like around to where you need to go. Doing the overs like that, sorry, it's a little hard to show on this one here, but if you catch like some of my older Marudai live streams, I talked about it occasionally. That will improve your speed and your quality and just in general how well your braids look. This one needs a little bit more. I'll take a reel. We're approaching the second wraparound point on the reel. That's a good sign. I think that's about like 3 inches or so. Yeah, because this is 1 inch diameter, so it should be 3.14 inches circumference. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Too far forward. Let me switch back a bit. Went forward so I could show the Marudai hand movements. 1, 2, under the third, over 4, under 3. And 1, 2, 3, 3, over 4. I think I'll skip the next take up reel. It's a little closer than I like because this kind of starts to hit here and I don't want to do that. Damages the sword a little bit. But I think that chip came from dropping on the floor. Let's see. I can fix that with a little bit of sanding. Not a major problem. And 1, 2, under the third, over 4, under 3. There we go. A little pause at the end of the move is sometimes I am unrolling the tama a bit more because this does eat up the distance very quickly, which is good because, as I mentioned before, I have only until Thursday. I do want this one to look nice and to be as long as I can get it to be, which, given the previous one at the same length rollout that I did on the tama, should be about 5 to 6 feet long. The last one was 5.5 feet. Whoops. And I did that one wrong. What did I do wrong there? All right. I did one additional move on there. I should, nope. Yeah, I do it on here, and yes, I screwed up. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. This one should. Yep. It's supposed to be there. All right. So. Yep. This is the move I should have done. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. The bottom one's what's supposed to pass through. Yep. And 1, 2, under the third, 4, 3. Now I can do this move and up. Yep. And 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. There we go. And the 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. There we go up there. Good. Still looking right. 1 and 2 and 3, 3, 4. Yep. Now the rain looks like it stopped again because I haven't heard it in the last few minutes. Yep. supposed to start up sometime around 10:30. So if I wind this up about 10 p.m. Eastern, that should give me enough time to walk back to camp without having an issue. So I do have an umbrella with me, so it shouldn't be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. And if it's cool enough, be nice sleeping weather, or it's just cool enough that you're not really cold, but you can snuggle up to the person next to you without having overheating issues. It's kind of nice. 1, 2, 3. Which reminds me of the time, the first time I went camping at an SCA event with Mrs. Torrin after we got married. It was like in May, and it was like a bit more cold than I was expecting. I'm so used to when I was sleeping by myself that it would be cold. I'd wake up several times during the night shivering. I'd never get warm enough. And then I realized when I woke up the next morning, wow, the extra warmth is nice. We both slept comfortably. And camping was a new experience for us. Well, for me after that. She'd been married prior to that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, and we are at home slide time again. So we will do that really quick. And then I will catch up with chat. I think part of the issue that why I'm not having as much of an, or I think part of the reason why I'm not having as much of an issue with StreamYard as other people are is because I don't tend to use a lot of their features. Whoops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave that up that long. Gwen says, please hit the like button. Thank you very much, Gwen. And Betsy Weingartner, hello, Eric Olson, or hi to Eric Olson. Program, thanks for the tip. Hey, I'm always happy to share tips. The less trial and error you have to go through on your own, I think the more likely people are to pick this up and enjoy this as a hobby and an art form. And I have actually already tried a Marudai I made from Connects and a plastic lid from something as a mirror, but that was way too unstable. Yep, I can understand that. Oh, one other thing about Marudais. Grab a piece of paper here, a pen, because I don't think I can explain this with just hand motions. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to do a side-on view of a Marudai disc, like a cutaway section from the middle. All right, so okay, good. We can see this. It's not overly white balance. Didn't really show it here, but you should have a nice rounded corners on the outer edges. The bottom here and here doesn't matter for the through hole. Through hole, I've seen like 1 to sometimes 2 inches in diameter. You can make it a little larger if you want. The important thing is you want to kind of have like a ridge here and then kind of a drop away here, so that your threads kind of meet in the air here where your point of braiding is, rather than, this is good. You don't want them where they're like touching right at the edge here and hanging down there, or just barely going in the center, or flat all the way across here with like a straight through hole. Having it kind of float in the air at your point of braiding makes your braid come together a lot better, where it can like freely join naturally, as opposed to where it's like rubbing against the edges. I did make one Marudai, which was basically just a flat disc with a hole in the center from plastic. And it was the most uncomfortable Marudai to braid on that I have had a chance to do so. Most Marudais you buy from like commercial makers who know what they're doing will have that in it. I actually have one where it's like almost this much of a curve. It's like over 1.5 inches thick, and it's got a significant curve, and it's only about like that thick at the where the hole is, and that is one of the nicer Marudais I've braided on. So if you're making your own, that's another tip that I think will serve you well in the long run. Everybody I know who I've talked to about it, who's had experience with both versions, has agreed that you do want the slope, and I mean, there's differences on what slope is the best, but you do want at least some drop away and slope down in, so your point of braiding is in the air and not on something, so to speak, right at the edge of the hole. And 1, 2, 3, under 3, over 4. Yep. And the 1, and the 2, 3, over 4, 3. Also, if you can't catch these live and you want to catch them on the replay and you have questions, if you leave comments, I also do my best to actually reply to those fairly quickly and be useful with that. So if you don't feel like you have to like really mess up your sleep schedule to be able to watch them live, watching them on the replay also helps the channel. And like I said, I do read the comments as much as I can. And so far, I haven't gotten anywhere near close enough to where I'm not going to be able to keep up with them. A lot of them don't necessarily need a direct response, like they're just saying a thank you or I enjoyed it. Those I also read, and I do try and like thumbs up and heart them so people know that they were read. I admit I do also hope to get to the point eventually where I have a hard time doing that. And if that's the case, I will do my best to deal with that bridge when I come to it. Yeah. And 1, 2, 3, under 3, over 4. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, over 4, under 3. And there we go then. But my goals when I get home are to get a couple of Marudai made fairly quickly, make a bunch of warping stands to see, a bit of resistance. Right, so that should be there. And get caught between Toma. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. But yeah, I want to make some warping stands so they'll be available for sale. Also want to maybe do some CNC. Yep, looks like it's cut between those blocks. Do CNC routing for like channel logo type ideas for people who want to just like support the channel and get something I've made so that they can have it. That's almost did the wrong one again. And 1 and 2 under the 3rd, over 4, 3. I've got a bunch of PVC and a few other plastics that I think I can make into some nice like rondels you could like hang on the wall that are like a 3D relief of. I'm thinking probably what I want to do is like a heraldic side view of a Koma and a Tama, so that we can 1, 2, 3, kind of like a theater, theater masks, tragedy and comedy together, just being Koma and Tama. I think that might be a nice, as they say, tchotchke or 1, 2, under the 3rd, over 4, under 3. There we go. But yeah, I need to. I'm hoping with once I get the ADD medicine figured out and working right, I hope to be able to do a lot of stuff to help the channel grow, thank people, have merchandise that they would like. wondering if it might be worth it to like do a some sort of t-shirt thing. Yep, that's the right move. Go. We are almost on the slide time again. And 1, 2, and 3, 3, 4. Yep. Sorry, I seem to get a little bit sleepy. I'll have to keep up with the caffeine. Go. 2 more, and it is coma slide time. And 1, 2. Oops. Yeah, one of the things about I said about having so many threads on here, sometimes they just kind of fluff out a little bit now and then, and you start to think you got a tangle going on. You don't. You just need to like occasionally just lift up and set it back down again. Make sure that like the single thread isn't snagging on anything. 2, under 3, over 4, under 3. There we go. Not all that close to leaders. I'm definitely going to have to make sure I braid a lot tomorrow. I'll try and get the stream link up relatively soon for the afternoons Eastern time tomorrow. Definitely be glad when I get my grip strength back to where I like it. It's easier to pull those out. Yep. Probably should figure some way to reglue that. But the design I've got for the future ones is I'll still have like a rod here and a ball on the end of the stop, but I'll have like a 290-degree bends so that it's kind of like that, just drops in and be much more stable, less likely to have an issue. I might wind up doing it out of thicker brass rod now that I've got an actual bender for that smaller diameter material. Let me catch up on chat real quick here. All right, and hey, Kenny Peterson, welcome, welcome. Good evening, Torrin and friends. It's good to have you on here. Gwen saying hello to Kenny Peterson. Ken saying hello to Gwen. And, oops. Appears a little slow. Sorry about that. Program, yeah, I found a random cutting board 10-inch diameter. It has the shape, however, it's not that big of a height difference, but it should be in the air, and I cut a 1.5-inch hole in it. Yep, that sounds like a reasonable stuff there. Worst case scenario, if you have access to a handheld trim router and you get like a, I don't know if it's a trim router, but if you have like some sort of handheld wood router and you can get like a panel raising bit or something like that, that can work for you. If you need to increase the step down there. And Progreon, practice will have to tell how well I finish the edge of the hole. Yep, also sandpaper is your friend. And Glenn says, picture went a little jumpy for a moment. Yeah, I was saying that I don't know if it's the computer, if it's a cable or whatever, but it wasn't doing it the last stream, though it says that my connection is kind of iffy now. Actually says connection is unstable. Like I said, I'm on my cell phone here. I'm not sure if it's an issue or not. I'm going to move the cell phone a little bit higher, so I apologize if the stream drops off for a minute. See if maybe that will help get better reception. So hopefully that doesn't fall off. It's mounted on the wall right now. Oh, it says I got another bar of signal, so hopefully that'll fix that. Oh, it says I got a good connection. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it was. Is it was just too low in the trailer to get a good signal. Okay, we're up to 17. Let me go ahead and open a Rumble link real quick, see if see how many people I got watching on Rumble. And let's see. Looks like it's just me over on Rumble at this particular point. Okay, no worries on that. I'll go ahead and drop that stream. I don't want to have too much data going through my cell phone at the moment because I'm supposed to keep it up for you folks so I can braid. And can't lose this. It's so hard to do it without it. 1, 2, and 3, 3, 4. Yep. And it's like one partially jumped to 10. Yep. And 1 and 2 under third, 4 and 3. Yep. And 1, 2 and 3 under 3 over 4. I'm also gonna try tomorrow and maybe Thursday get a good start on Kurt's braid design. So my ideas are possibly in purple, black, purple, red, or sorry, orange and black, orange and purple. Those are the two colors combinations I was thinking of. I know the orange and black is Clemson, and Kurt is a big Clemson man. And I was going to do like the Clemson Tiger footprint or paw print, and see if I can do his 3-column courthouse front facade type channel logo he has, and see if I can't come up with some sort of bee fish that looks good in that particular medium, and probably ask for a few more suggestions with pictures of the other braids I've done on his Discord, see what people have ideas for, and then hopefully within a week or so I will have his braid design where he likes it, and I can get started on that. 1, 2, under the third, over 4, 3, and if I can't get started immediately on getting home, I do have a Marudai braid I really should finish off that I haven't done for a while. So I might be doing a couple of Marudai braiding streams until I get an official okay for Kurt's braid. Speaking of which, let's see, 1, 2, and 3 under 3 over 4. I was mentioning Tug and Megan Fox. I'm thinking, I mean, I have several braids ahead of them, but I'm thinking that I might consider doing braids for either and or both, if that's something that they might be interested in. I'm pretty sure Megan will like it. And with Tug, I think I could do a red and white umbrella logo type design for his braid, just kind of as a continuous thing. You might be able to use it as like a headband or even like, you know, mummy swaddling for conventions and the like. So, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. And 1, 2, 3, under 3 over 4. There we go. And 1 and 2 under 3 over 4, 3. Oh, when me and my campmates told Mrs. Toran that we really enjoyed the surf and turf she cooked for us tonight, She said, well, you better. It's going to be dinner tomorrow. And it's like, ooh, you're threatening us with a good time. Woohoo. In case you haven't guessed, I really do like Mrs. Fern's cooking. She is very skilled at it. My main problem with cooking is not eating too much. Because that's very easy to do if you would let yourself. And that way I won't fall on the ground. It's coma slide time. I'll let go one more before doing another take-up reel. All right, so 1, 2, 3, under 3, 4. Jump. Probably pause right here and catch up with chat real quick. Did that one already. All right. And Progrion says maybe one tip I can ask for is about the tama weights. What influence does the weight of the tama have on the braid, keeping the counter weight the same proportion? Actually, traditionally, the way I was taught, most Marudai braids, you want your counterweight roughly 50% of your total tama weight. If you want your braid to be tighter, you use less counterweight as it causes more pull at the point of braiding because all of your outside weights are pulling at the center point and it packs in the threads better. If you want a looser braid, you use a heavier counterweight so that, like, say, heavy weights, it's nice and tight like this. Looser weights, heavier counterweight, it's more like this, and they tend to tie in as a less tightened. They go together as a less tight combination. I know Makiko's book discusses using different weights. There's some patterns in there that use like 240 gram tama for certain weights where you want additional pull on them. And you can use like different size fiber groups, some with like, fewer number of threads per tama that have lighter weights and some heavier threads that have heavier weights. But yeah, it's not really a fixed answer. It kind of depends on the type of braid you're doing and how you want the tension to play out. You can do a fair amount of experimentation with it to see what works best for the types of braid that you want to do. But as a general rule, if I do 50% of my total tama weight as counterweight, most braids will turn out relatively good. So that's usually a good starting point on your decisions of how much tama weight versus counterweight you want to have. I know that's not a hard and fast answer, but I hope that's helpful. And I will say that for most Marudai braids I use 100 gram tama for the threads. I have done lighter, but I tend, as a general rule, to do lighter tama for Taka-Dai braiding. For example, if you do like 100 tama or over on a braid, it gets very hard to open the shed when you have that much tama weight preventing you from like pushing down and fighting against you. It's also harder on your Torii gate. You have that much weight on it. So if I was going to do like 150 or more tama braid, I would probably do like 70 gram or lighter tama for that. Though with the Takadai, you aren't actually having a counterweight. You just have the take-up reel here that keeps the braid from unrolling, and all your tama is against that and your take-up reel here as a continuous static weight. So if you want, not so tight a braid, you have to actually reduce your tama weight, especially the more threads you're working with at a time. And I am sorry, I do seem to be getting sleepier faster than I was expecting. But I am making decent progress here. When I'm done, I will go ahead and probably unroll it a bit, see how much I've actually made total, and figure out how much time I'm going to have to spend on it to get it finished. Since tomorrow and Thursday are very light ordering days, traditionally I expect I'm going to have a fair amount of time to do braiding. So as long as I can keep myself from like getting distracted with the computer and the daily type of games I play, because I'm like one of those completionist type people, I should be able to get it done. Sorry, just getting distracted. Brain's kind of jumping tracks, which kind of makes sense because my ADD meds should be well worn off by now. I take 2 doses a day. They're supposed to be good for about 4 to 5 hours each. Last one I took was about 3 o'clock. So since it's well past 8 now, that's probably why it's worn off. And it is getting late in the day, so my anti-sleep keep me awake so I don't fall asleep from either narcolepsy, idiopathic hypersomnia, or excessive daytime sleepiness with obstructive sleep apnea, whichever of those 3 things I actually have. That's also probably fairly worn off at this point too. It is much easier for me to go to sleep in the evening. I will have to say that I've been sleeping a lot more since I've come out here. I'm probably getting another 2 hours a night over what I do normally. But that's because I work at a job where I have a 10-hour shift and about an hour commute each way, which makes it kind of hard to do all the other stuff I want to do in a day and get all the sleep I should. Admittedly, it is like a 4-day-a-week thing. So on 3 days on the weekend, I do try and sleep as much as I can to cover. I know that's not 100% transitive property there, but the extra sleep does help. Though without my wake-up medicine, I can sleep 3 hours or 13 hours and wake up, and I'm the same level of tired because I never really wake up refreshed regardless. But the daytime wakefulness stuff I take does make it to where I'm fairly functional and non-sleepy during the day, which is really, really nice after 50 years of being excessively sleepy. Though it really only got kind of heavy for me about the time I hit 25. Then I stopped being able to drive really long distances without getting very sleepy. But it is nice being able to drive long distances again without having to like pull over every 2 hours and nap for about half an hour to keep getting too sleepy. Yep. Excuse me. Let me catch up on chat again. Program. Okay, and for a more concrete example, for a round braid with 16 tama, what about the difference between, say, 50 gram and 100 gram tama? Kind of much about the 50%. You will get a slightly tighter braid with 100 gram tama. The proportion is fairly controlling on that, but I kept it roughly the same from like 8 tama to 32 tama patterns, and it seems to work fairly well. But then again, I also like fairly tight braids, so I may not be noticing it as much. But yeah, I would say if you were using 50 gram tama, you would wind up in general with a slightly looser braid than you would if you were using 100 gram tama, both of them with the counterweight at 50% of your total tama weight. Kenny Peterson, no worries, Torin. I find myself with the same tiredness issue since I got COVID a year ago. I am sorry to hear that. I hope that you were able to find a resolution there. if you get a chance to talk to a sleep doctor, that may be helpful. They do have like a scale, a measuring scale where you can, list what makes you tired, how often, and whatnot. And while that doesn't substitute for like a narcolepsy diagnosis, there are things they can prescribe for you. I first started out with Provigil. I was on that for about a year and a half, and it seemed to work relatively well until we, with the help of my sister, the pharmacist, figured out that it neutralizes my anti-migraine medicine. So I was having a lot more migraines than I actually needed to have from that. So they went ahead and that put me on something called Sunosi, which seems to be working pretty well at its minimal dosage. Probably not as awake at the right times as I would like to be, but I'm actually kind of in the ballpark, so not too bad there. The only thing is that's got me a little worried is that some of its potentially serious side effects are elevated heart rate and stroke. Yeah, not the fun kind of stroke either. So that's got me a bit worried. Right move 1, 2, 4, 3. So I am being careful to wear my Fitbit every chance I get, so it will monitor my heart rate, and I will be providing that data to my sleep doctor so that he is able to have more data to decide whether or not this is a good choice or not. I've also been careful not to do like too much exercise or anything that might send my heart rate too high. And my Fitbit will give me an alarm if it goes up too high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. But yeah, I'm a bit concerned about that. But the pills for it are extremely tiny, and I'm taking like half a pill every day. So I got to use the pill cutter to like split it in half. And any YouTube monitors that catch this stream later on, I am only discussing medicines that I am taking after consultation with a doctor and a legitimate prescription, and strictly on doctor's instructions. This is not anything that I'm taking for fun. It's not anything I'm taking that is illegal. And to be honest, if I didn't have to take them, I would actually be a lot happier. But these are things that make me a functional person, not anything that would be against YouTube's terms of service. Not that I've ever had anything struck or warned, except for the weird copyright thing where some videos for karate tournaments somewhere in Indonesia kept thinking that the StreamYard intro music was their copyright, which I think eventually they did get it fixed because I've been able to use it lately without getting copy struck for the music from that. Speaking of music and stuff like that, that is things that I'm also looking to eventually do on the channel, is to have like swoops and maybe better hold music or an intro music or something like that that I can, either pay for or do some sort of like monthly service fee or whatever to have access to the music. I am sorry about the yawns. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Believe me, it has nothing to do with your company. You folks are helping keep me awake more than anything else. Speaking of which, I'm almost slide time, at which point I will catch up on the chat. One, 2, 3, 3, 4. Bottom one passes through. And 1 and 2 under the third, over 4, 3, and top one passes through. And comic slide. I think with the take-up reel getting larger, let's see, we are on, we are starting our third wrap around. We are definitely making progress. So I'll probably add at least 6 inches this stream. All right. And yep, okay, read that one. Progreon. All right, thanks. I'll just do some testing. I plan to do the same braid I did on the disc earlier, also with different types of thread I have, just so I can compare. That is a very good idea. If you can keep samples with notes of what you've done, you can go back and look through, and you will find that very useful. You're definitely on the right track with all this stuff. I got to say, you definitely have a handle on things, and it's nice to know that I'm hopefully providing you some additional information, but I think you're going to do absolutely fabulous by yourself. Well, not by yourself, but starting out with your Marudai. Kenny Pearson, appreciate the input, sir. Thank you. I'm not on any meds and sleep great. I think it's long COVID. Hate to say. I am sorry that if that's the case, and I hope that you are able to eventually resolve it to where you are no longer tired. And Progreon, that's an excellent idea. Yep. Let's get a little more caffeine here. Maybe that'll help. Oh, for those that watched me doing the 3D printing last year for that attendance counter I did, the handle broke off this year. I'm not too happy with that. I'm going to reprint those gears at probably 90 or 100% infill so that hopefully they will not be able to break it again next year. But it has been a big hit last year and this year. So as long as I can keep it going and repair it to where it's come on, Brent. It's a continual presence here that people enjoy. I will do so. 1 and 2 and 3, 3 over 4. One passes through. And 1 and 2, third over 4, 3. Oh, for those that like science in their science fiction, fantasy, and horror movies, mainly horror movies, I do have to give a hat tip to Roanoke Gaming. I do like their channel. Guy's a biologist or epidemiologist of some variety. Not sure if he's ever gone into specific detail, but he'll go through like zombie movies, plague movies, things like that, and try and go over like the science behind what might be causing it, and where it's gone completely out of the realm of reality. But it's pretty good if you want to pick up like general. I don't know if it's necessarily general, but like interesting tidbits about biology and epidemiology, how diseases work, how how bodies work, and things like that, in a fun format against a fiction story, movie, and the like. Sometimes video games. I definitely recommend it as a fun watch or listen, because usually I'm listening to it while I'm working and I can't actually see what's on the screen. I just have to listen. Speaking of which, that's one of the main reasons I actually keep YouTube Premium account, is because I can play YouTube with my screen blanked out for most things, though for some reason they won't let you do member-only streams that way, which I find really annoying. I mean, you're already paying for membership. You should be able to, like, if you're a member and you have premium, you should be able to blank out the screen, so you're not using a lot of battery and still have the stream running. But apparently they don't want you to do that because YouTube is a-hole. And while I use YouTube, I realize that they are not necessarily a friendly company, and they tend to make their creators neurotic. I'm pretty sure they didn't want to create Nerdrotic, but he seems to be successful on this platform regardless, and I admit I do enjoy his content as well. But anyway, I lost track of what I was talking about other than Growing Up Gaming is a good channel, and if you give it a listen to and you like it, all the better. If you don't, I apologize for distracting you and sending you the wrong way, and hopefully you will find something you enjoy. But like I said, I do enjoy his content. He is a snappy reader, or I don't know, say reader, but his voice work is appealing for me to listen to. My mind just jumped tracks again. There is another channel, Rufus Reads, which is one of the Reddit reading channels. And overall, I tend to enjoy their content. It tends to be less longer stories, more like short comments on a theme. Though they do also cover stories that other Reddit reading channels do. But one of the things that's kind of bothered me is that the voice for Rufus Reads is very good on idiomatic English. It has enough variation in emotion and volume and whatnot that it seems like it's a real person. But there are word pronunciations on that channel that I would not expect a native English speaker or somebody who is speaking that well to make those pronunciation choices that are not any type of thing I would expect from somebody who speaks English as well as they do with the accent that they do. I'm thinking that in other words, it sounds like it's a real living, breathing human that's doing the voice reading there, but there's the occasional, maybe like every third one I listen to, where there is a pronunciation choice that I have never heard any native, and sometimes never heard any ESL speaking, person who speaks English as a second language who can speak that well without an accent ever use those pronunciation choices. And can't think of any off the top of my head, but it's like, is that a real person? And do they just have some sort of weird gaps in their experience hearing words from other speakers, or is it AI where it doesn't know the right, the right way to say it, and it's just picking similar letter combinations to generate sounds? But whatever it is, it's freaking me the frick out. Sorry about that. All right, let me catch up with chat real quick here. And Progreon says, I've done enough research. It's time to actually do stuff now. Woohoo! Best wishes for your doing it. And Kenny Peterson, the pump won't work because the vandal broke the handle. Sorry, Torin threw a little Bob Dylan at you. Yeah. And Gwen says, I didn't expect that to break. They do have some muscular people spinning that thing. I think what happened with that is the dimensional tolerances on the design are relatively loose, so you can print relatively small parts and have it still work. Also, you don't want it binding up too tight just because the tolerances are too tight even on larger pieces. And I think what's going on here is that the inner gears bounce around a little bit as you're doing it. And if you're too fast, they'll bounce into a locking state. And if you're hand cranking at a nice normal speed, you'll feel it kind of bind up a little bit, stop, give it like a quarter turn back, and then continue on forward. And they'll have popped out of that locked state and just continue on. And they may never even get in that locked state if you're not too fast with it, because it'll allow the gears to settle in their proper spaces when they bounce around just a little bit. And I think when they're going too fast, they hit that lock state and they put too much force on it, and that's what eventually broke it, is what I think happened. And I figure, let's grab the wrong one there, did the wrong move. All right. I think that 1, 2, third, over 4, over 3, and I think just printing some of those internal gears, much higher density, where they're much more durable, will resolve that issue. Plus, the people who work in that department, who are supervisors, who have been having to tell people over and over again, do not, crank too fast. That they were thinking of having like a class for the people in that department to go over how to run the crank. And while they've had a lot of fun letting kids, little kids that come to the line crank the number occasionally, they might have to stop letting them do that. Though my understanding is it was probably an adult high-speed cranking that caused the final issue. I don't know if they're just gonna like maybe limit it to only certain people once it's fixed to be able to do that, so they're in the future. But like I said, I'm willing to keep repairing it and keeping it running as long as people want it to be a fixture of the event. But a lot of people, I was told, really enjoyed last year and this year going through the line with that type of attendance counter to refer to and see going. So, also this year, though apparently it was too late for this time around, I did get a dry silicone/Teflon lube spray to keep the internals a little better lubed and less likely to bind up. So definitely have a plan going forward, just not something I could really repair on site in place. I was thinking about epoxying it, but I don't think I can get a good enough bond on everything that would have been useful. So it made it about somewhere between a quarter and a third of the way through the event before it broke. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. A little far forward. Back up just a bit. And 1, 2, under third, over 4, under 3. Yep. But yeah, it's definitely nice when you get to where you know just how high to hold your hand, to let it swing, to pass on through the shed smoothly without hitting stuff. Definitely a skill you pick up. To be honest, if I started thinking about it, I'd probably start screwing up more on that. All right. It is coming slide time. And we'll do some and take up here as well. Gee, been going at it almost 2 hours now, about an hour and 45. To get you sleepy, I might go ahead and get a little early, but I am shooting for the 2.5 hours tonight. And also, every time around the diameter of this wraparound on the makeup reel is getting larger, so we're getting more distance for each wraparound. The other thing that's probably helping my sleepiness is I did turn off the AC in here right before starting the stream. I did run it for about almost half an hour before I started, as I was setting up the equipment, starting up the computer and the like. And the extra warmth is also probably making me a bit sleepy. 2, 3, 4. There we go. And 1, 2, 3. Oops, nope. I'm trying to do the first move again. So go under the third, 4, 3. There we go. Getting a little better at catching it as I start the wrong move. And 1, 2, and 3, 3 over 4. Yep. And 1, 2, under 3, over 4, and 3. I'll take a nice high-res pic when I'm done tonight, post it to the members section, and also give how long I've got braided and how much more I have to go. I think at this point I'm about 6 or 7, probably about 7 or 8 hours into this braid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Going to get in like somewhere around 6 or 8 hours in tomorrow. I'll probably be on track getting it done. Not quite to the point where I'm seeing start of the leader knots, but this is also much more thread on the tama, so it may be rather abrupt when I get to that point. And 3, 4. Yep. And 1, and 2, and the 3rd, 4, and 3. Yep. And I don't want to go too much longer after 10, just because I want to get back to camp before the rain starts. 1, 2, 3, under 3, over 4. Even though I do have the umbrella, still, if there's enough of a breeze, you get wet anyway. If it comes down hard enough, even if there is no breeze, you'll still get soaked. And I am sorry if I am like repeating myself, but again, I am getting a little tired, and I just realized I tried to do the same move again. 1, 2, under the 3rd, 4, under 3. There we go. And 1, 2, 3, under 3, over 4. There we go. And I know it's not on camera, but my eyes are starting to get around half mast or half staff, however you want to say that. Strong opinion either way. Oh, since I was mentioning sovereign citizens earlier, my first encounter with the sovereign citizen concept was when I was living in California back somewhere between 93 and 96. I was listening to the local talk radio, and somebody was going on about how if a courtroom you're in has a gold fringe on the flag, it means it's an admiralty court, and the laws are different there, and they don't really apply to ordinary people. And 2, 3, 4, 3. That was my first time encountering that. Did a little bit of research and figured out that they just think they found a cheat code they haven't actually found. Though, as time goes on, my thought is more that they are doing cargo cult law, where they have seen people, lawyers, use what appear to be some sort of like magical speech and or words of power in court cases and gotten what they wanted, and figured, hey, they did that. I want to do that. And so they grasp onto weird things that they think will give them the magical words, like cargo cultists, where they see something and they follow themselves to try and get the same effect, but they don't understand what they're doing really is not the cause, it's just kind of an effect, and they're not doing it right. But that's my opinion as to what's going on with those travelers on the land, that they think they've tapped into the secret language of power in government, but all they've done is tapped into the language of frustrating everybody else around them. So instead of finding the +5 book of eloquent magical speaking, they have instead found the -20 book, cursed book of aggravate combative components, or combative opponents. I'm hearing the rain starting again. I guess I waited too long. And I admit I'm kind of just rambling at this point. And 1, 2, 3, under 3, 4. There we go. And 1, 2, under 3, 4, under 3. I will catch up with chat after the next coma slide and take up reel. 1 and 2 and 3 under 3 over 4. Which fortunately will not be very long. And 1 and 2 under the third, 4, 3. Through. And 1 and 2. 3, 4. Yep. And 1 and 2 under 3, 4 under 3. And 1, 2, 3 under 3, 4. And 1, 2 under the third, 4 under the 3. There we go. And 1, 2, 3 under 3.
You still here?
Yep, I'm still here.
We're back.
Okay. How was the cart ride?
Fine.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
He's still here. He's still streaming.
Yep. I'm still braiding. Thank you. I'm probably going to end fairly soon. I'm starting to get a little sleepy.
You're going to need the umbrella.
Yeah, I was hearing the rain starting, and I know it's going to keep going, so.
Not bad. It's wet right now, but it's starting.
Oh, Gwen and Erica Olson said hi to you from when your last time you popped your head in.
Hi. Ice cream is delicious. Now it's cold and wet out here.
All right. Catch up on chat here. Love you, dear.
Love you too. Lock it in.
All right, catching up on chat real quick here. All right. Kenny Peterson, English as a second language, AI, Torn. Well, yep, something along those lines. Gwen says there isn't a stabilizing ring or something that keeps it situated right. I have it mounted in a wood box where it's got blocks that kind of hold it stable. It also has alignment pins that are passed through the outer wall of the wood box and go in appropriate sockets on the thing, so the rings don't spin around. So yeah, it's fairly stable. It shouldn't rock around much. And I used some layers of relatively slippery plastic to kind of help lubricate the motion of the handle. And Gwen says a lot of them end up in trouble driving without a license or insurance because they don't think they have to have it. They think they're entitled to, or something. I think, yeah. And what really gets to me is like there's a ton of videos on YouTube where people, the people who posted the video are the ones that think that they don't need a license, and they wind up going to jail or paying fines, and they still keep doing it, and they still keep sharing it. It's like negative consequences don't teach them. And Progrion, I'm currently tying leaders on 66 gram Atama. I DIY'd, so I don't have the option to make heavy ones right now. Understandable. It took me a while until I got the ones I wanted. I actually had to buy the injection mold for the ones I've got to be able to get the ones I like using. So I entirely understand that, and whatever you can get to work should work great for you. I've seen people use film canisters with coins in them that they weigh out to get the right weights. I've seen people use like ceramic electrical line insulators because they're the right shape. Hey, if it works for you and you can use them and don't break the bank, whatever you use is great. Gwen says, please hit the like button, double check your subscriptions, and share this beautiful, relaxing video. Thank you, Gwen. That is very nice. Gwen saying hi back to Mrs. Torin. And program, they are wooden bobbins. I put screws in with washers. Hey, that works perfectly. As long as you're happy with them and they do what you want to do, I say go for it. And Gwen says soft sits get into more trouble when they act out in the courtroom. Oh, yeah. Judges do not like that. You do a lot of work, and people, to be able to essentially keep the gears of civilization running the way they're supposed to, so to speak, based off the laws that are passed. And these people come in and think they can do something entirely different and that they'll be fine. And they just cause a lot of stress and frustration for those people. And I can understand why a lot of them, just giving up patience. It's like, that's not the way this works. That's not the way any of this works. Like the commercial about the Facebook wall with likes, and they put pictures on the wall and they like them. It's like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Yeah. 3 under 3 over 4. Yep, sounds like the wind stopped again. And 1, 2 under the 3rd, 4 under 3. Sounds like people are having fun. Party going on not too far away. I hear drums and cheering. And I realize the type of mic I have. You guys probably don't hear that, which is okay. Well, it has been 2 hours. I was hoping to go 2.5, but I think I probably need sleep. And I will try and start braiding on this tomorrow morning. I'll get the stream set up very quickly. The lady should be done shopping, and I'll process through by about 2 or so. So I'll try and start about 3. And Eric also says soft sits are nuts. Yep. And Gwen says, Eric Olson, there must be some screws loose with somewhere with those people. Yeah. Let's see. And Gwen says, woohoo, bonfire party. Yep, I can hear the thrumming of the drums. Let's see what I guess. Let me see if I can't find a redirect. Let's see. Let's refresh that. I remember Ian talking about somebody who was doing sovereign citizen stuff, or somebody who actually passed law school and was a legitimate lawyer. And they managed to, like, as I understand it, not wind up being an actual lawyer by the end of it because they weren't willing to do that. All right, so it looks like Danny on direct is still going, so I'm going to go ahead and redirect to her. Go ahead and save this. And tell her I said hi. And I hope she's having a decent stream. It looks like it's actual attorney reviews Sarah Boone's first rodeo. That sounds like Sarah Boone's not a sovereign citizen. She's just, I think, generally delusional in that she thinks she is going to be able to walk out of court when she's done because she'll be able to convince people that she didn't do what she apparently did. But she seems to be reasonably intelligent and at least trying to accommodate court practices. So we'll have to see how that goes. But, all right, so that is saved. Let me jump back here, see if there's any final chats. Merely saying thanks for the stream. You're most welcome. It's good to have you folks all on here. Erica, also, I agree. Progreon, see you. It was good to have you on. Thank you very much. We're glad you were able to join the live. I hope we didn't keep you up too late. It's probably about 4 a.m. your time or 4:30 a.m. your time. I hope you have a decent amount of sleep and you have good luck with your new Marudai and braiding. Gwen says, thanks for streaming tonight. You're most welcome. And Eric Olson, she's bat poop crazy. Yeah, but she's not quite sovereign citizen crazy. She's just a different flavor of crazy. So, all right. You are most welcome, Probion. I want to thank everybody for coming in. And as always, everybody, stay safe and happy braiding.